Hello folks, today we're going to learn a new song. This is an old classic Hank Williams Sr. tune, and it's a tune called Family Tradition. We're big fans of Hank Sr. and Hank Jr. Hank started out emulating his father's style, and somewhere along the line he started to infuse his style with a little bit of rock, southern rock and blues, and sort of come out with, his style sort of got a little bit edgy, a little bit rebellious, and we're talking about the 70s, and a lot of his stylings had a big impact on developing what came to be known as the outlaw movement, which is a little bit more of a country with more of a rebellious attitude. So what we're going to do, we have our own version of Family Tradition, and we try to keep a little bit of the Hank flavor, but we also put some different stuff in it just to make it our own style. So we're going to play our tracks and then we'll get into the lesson. Okay, here we go. So that would be Family Tradition, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you a basic run through the chords with a basic strum at a slow tempo. Since this is an instructional video, if you're new to this stuff, I want to play it slow so you can get the feel without playing it too fast. And so I'll go through it here. The chords are D, G, and A. So I'm going to go through it here. Country music singers have always been a G, real close family. A,
tradition.
And that's just a basic run through the chords. After you get that down, if you want to rewind this too every once in a while, until when you got that and you can play it pretty good, then it's time to soup up the strumming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it with the strum, and this is the way I strum it. I kind of did a sort of a boom chicka, boom pa chicka, and sometimes it changes, but let's just get started with this. Boom chicka, boom pa chicka, boom chicka, boom pa chicka, boom chicka. Country music singers have always been a real close family. Lately, some of my kin folks have disowned a few other than me. I guess it's because I kind of changed my direction. Lord, I guess I went and broke their family tradition. Hank, why do you drink? Why do you roll smoke? Why must you live out the songs that you wrote? Over and over, everybody made my prediction. So if I get stoned, I'm just carrying on an old family tradition. So that's kind of the gist of it. There's a couple more verses. It's a verse, chorus, and so what we did is about almost half of the tune, not counting the guitar. My father here, Blaine Morrison, we decided we wanted to do a little bit of a different spin on this tune, and we kind of really felt that it had a lot of a blues influence for us, or at least that's kind of our interpretation of it. Was real bluesy, and so he did some real cool finger picking, some nice finger picking rolls, and just try to bring the blues out of the tune. And that's the big thing about Hank Sr. and Hank Jr. There was a lot of blues influence there. Like even Hank Sr., for example, was everybody labeled him as a country singer, but he leaned heavily into the blues. He borrowed from a lot of different influences. So even though he had a cowboy hat and he looked Western, he had a very strong blues tradition. So sometimes you got to be careful not to put things in a box. So anyway, that's kind of the gist of Hank family tradition. The chords are G, D, and A, and I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think that Hank actually did this in the key of D sharp. D sharp is if you put the capo on the first fret, and you play the exact same shapes, that's D sharp. And the other thing you can do too is, depending on your range, and it sort of depends if you're male or female and where your vocal range is, but you can take what we showed you, and if that's not high enough, maybe if you're a female and you got a really high voice, you can take the capo and just move the same, just learn the pattern off of this video, and then just move it up, and then lowering the pitch is a different story altogether, but that's something we'll get into in a later video. So you got some insight on Hank, eh? You seen him one time?
Yes, Hank Jr. and his mother Audrey Williams were here in the early 70s. I think it was 1971. They put on a fabulous show at the Sinclair Rink in Newcastle. And Gene Shepard was also with them. And I always loved all of Hank Jr.'s music.
So that would have been before his accident, before 73, or?
Yes,
yeah, right, yeah.
That'd be around, I think it was 1971.
71, yeah.
I think it was a couple of years after that he fell off of a 300-foot cliff. And he was in the hospital for an awful long time.
And he almost didn't make her too, right?
Yeah. It's a miracle that he survived, because his face hit the rocks going down off this cliff, and he had hundreds of operations, and it's a miracle that he survived. And I always loved his music, all Hank Williams Jr. also has a son that recorded some music too, which they call Hank Williams III, which we don't hear too much of him today, but I always loved all their music.
Yeah. The other thing too is not very well known, or not sure. He's known more of a singer and maybe a guitar player, but he actually plays several instruments, and I believe he plays in excess of 8 or 9 instruments. Maybe now he's up to 12, 13. I don't know, but he's a very talented individual, and he's got music, such a deep musical gift. It's just unreal. And the best way to check out Hank Jr. is to go get a copy and have a listen to him, and just listen for the feel of the way he can just kind of wring the blues out of that southern bluesy feel out of those tunes. It's just incredible. So we're huge fans of Hank Jr., and thanks for checking out the video. Thank you.